Have you ever heard that your sex life ends with age? Today, we're going to debunk this myth. In this special video, I reveal the science behind sexuality in old age and how simple habits, like including oily fish in your diet, can revitalize your intimate, emotional, and physical health. Discover accessible practices, inspiring stories, valuable tips to restore self-esteem, and strategies to live a full life at every stage. Get ready to change your perspective in a welcoming, respectful, and exciting way. Sign up to receive weekly content on quality of life, health, and well-being. Have you ever wondered why society talks so little about sexuality after a certain age? Maybe because for a long time we were taught to believe that love, desire, and intimacy had an expiration date. But modern science is here to dispel this myth. And today I want to invite you to an open, non-judgmental conversation about something that is much more important than many people imagine: sexual health in old age. And believe me, you will be surprised at what some simple foods, like oily fish, can do for your intimate life. First of all, it must be said, sexuality is a profound expression of our humanity. It does not disappear with time, it changes. What changes is not the desire to connect, to touch, to be touched, to love. What changes is the rhythm, the way the body responds, the way the mind perceives these experiences. And that's okay. Each phase of life has its own beauty, and when we talk about sexual health in old age, we are talking about quality of life, about self-esteem, about happiness. Let's debunk some myths that have been preventing thousands of people from living their lives to the fullest for years. Myth number 1, as we age, sexual desire fades. False. Recent studies show that despite hormonal changes, such as menopause in women and andropause in men, sexual desire is still present. It can be affected by factors such as physical and mental health and the quality of your relationship, but it doesn't disappear just because you turn 60, 70, or 80. Myth number 2, it's no longer worth investing in your sex life when you're old. This is perhaps one of the cruelest lies ever invented. Scientific studies, such as those published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, reveal that maintaining an active sex life in old age can improve cardiovascular health, reduce stress levels, strengthen the immune system, and even extend life expectancy. It is as if the body itself responds with vitality to this form of affection. But why do so many older people report difficulties in this area? The answer is complex and involves both the physical and emotional aspects. Factors such as chronic diseases, diabetes, hypertension, joint problems can directly impact sexual performance. Likewise, medications taken regularly, such as antidepressants or blood pressure control drugs, can also affect appetite and sexual function. But perhaps the most overlooked factor is the emotional one: shame, low self-esteem, fear of judgment from others. And that's where our greatest ally comes in: information. When you understand what's happening to your body, when you recognize that changes are normal and not flaws, you free yourself from guilt and make room for a new phase of discovery and pleasure. Now, getting a little more scientific, did you know that foods rich in omega-3, such as fatty fish, salmon, tuna, sardines, can play a key role in sexual health? We're not talking about a magic bullet, but rather a very powerful biological support. Omega-3 acts directly on cardiovascular health, improving blood circulation. And efficient circulation is essential for sexual function in both men and women. After all, arousal depends largely on healthy blood flow. Furthermore, omega-3 has an anti-inflammatory effect, reducing chronic inflammation that can affect joints and muscles, improving physical comfort during sexual activity. Not to mention its effect on the brain. Regular consumption of omega-3 is associated with a significant improvement in mood and emotional disposition, two critical factors for sexual desire and satisfaction. Think about it. How many times have tiredness, pain, or discouragement gotten in the way of moments that could have been moments of pleasure and connection? Now imagine a routine in which these obstacles are increasingly fewer. Wouldn't that be transformative? And here's a fact that many people don't know. A study conducted by Harvard Medical School showed that adults who regularly consume oily fish are 19% less likely to develop sexual dysfunctions related to cardiovascular problems. In other words, a plate of salmon in your meal can be much more than just a healthy act. It can be an invitation to a richer and fuller sex life. But that's not all. When we talk about foods that promote sex, we're not just talking about biology. There's something almost symbolic about it all. Taking care of what you eat, investing in your health, is also a way of telling yourself that you still deserve pleasure, love, and happiness at any age. Throughout the video, we will explore other practical strategies to improve the quality of your intimate life without having to resort to expensive medications or complicated interventions. What you will discover is that, often, small changes in habits can open doors to huge transformations. Now that we've started to dispel some myths and take a closer look at the science that supports sexuality in old age, I want to invite you to continue on this journey with me. Next, we'll talk about simple practices that you can incorporate into your daily routine to recover or strengthen your sexual health, starting with something you may never have imagined. When we talk about simple practices to strengthen sexual health in old age, one word stands out: movement. Regular physical exercise is one of the greatest allies you can have. And we're not talking about exhausting workouts or heavy gym workouts. Light walks, ballroom dancing, water aerobics, movements that respect your body and can transform your physical and emotional disposition. Studies by the Mayo Clinic show that moderate physical activity, performed at least 3 times a week, increases the production of endorphins, hormones that promote feelings of pleasure and well-being, and improves blood flow, directly benefiting sexual function. What's more, those who exercise frequently feel more confident and more connected to their own bodies. And confidence is one of the most powerful fuels for intimate life. And speaking of trust, we need to address a very sensitive issue: communication. Long-term couples often face difficulties not because of a lack of love, but because of a lack of open dialogue about their needs, limitations, and desires. Shame and fear of hurting the other person or being misunderstood can create invisible barriers. And these barriers, over time, can create distance. A valuable tip is to rekindle sincere, kind, and pressure-free conversations. There is no need for big speeches or difficult conversations. Sometimes a gesture, a compliment, or a kind word in everyday life can create emotional closeness, which is the basis for physical closeness. Another fundamental point is accepting the changes in your body. Time passes for all of us. Wrinkles, gray hair, the marks of life, all of these are part of our history. But the desire to be touched, to feel alive through others, remains. Accepting these changes with love and self-respect is an act of courage and liberation. When we allow ourselves to live in the present, without the expectation of reproducing what we were at 20, we find a deeper, more sincere, more human pleasure. Did you know that there are specific therapies to help couples or individuals rediscover their sexuality in adulthood? Sex therapy is a valuable tool, led by trained professionals, that can help rebuild self-esteem, demystify taboos, and find practical solutions to specific difficulties. There is no need to face these issues alone. Now, moving on to practical solutions. In addition to exercise and a diet rich in omega-3, another powerful habit is the practice of mindfulness. Studies show that practicing mindfulness can help reduce performance anxiety and increase the ability to experience pleasure in the present moment. Imagine transforming every touch, every hug, every kiss into a conscious experience, without pressure, without rushing, just connection. And we can't forget to mention something very important: hydration and skincare. As we age, the skin tends to become more sensitive and less lubricated, both in men and women. Staying hydrated, using appropriate lubricants, and adopting a skincare routine can make all the difference when it comes to enjoying intimacy with more comfort and pleasure. A practical suggestion is to invest in specific products for intimate hydration, which are safe and recommended for this stage of life. Small details that, when added together, create an environment of safety and well-being. You may be wondering, is it worth investing energy in this now? The answer is absolutely yes. Sexuality is an expression of our vitality. No matter how old you are, your right to pleasure, connection, and love remains intact. Every gesture of care for your body, your mind, and your partner is an investment in your quality of life. And here, returning to the power of food, we cannot fail to mention other allies of sexual health that can easily be included in your diet. Nuts, chia and flax seeds, avocado, extra virgin olive oil. They are all rich in good fats, antioxidants, and nutrients that favor cardiovascular and brain health, and consequently, your sexual disposition and vitality. Want a practical example? A simple breakfast with a slice of whole wheat bread, mashed avocado, a drizzle of olive oil, and a spoonful of chia seeds can be a real boost for your well-being. And the best part is that these foods are affordable, easy to find, and delicious. Having reached this point, it is important to emphasize that every small step matters. It is not about changing everything overnight, nor about seeking perfection. It is about honoring your body, your history, and your right to live fully at all stages of life. And now, to further reinforce this transformation movement, I want to share some extra tips that can further enhance your sexual health and your quality of life as a whole. Small changes, big results. If you've made it this far, you've already taken a huge step. The step of wanting to understand more, take better care of yourself, and break old myths that so often limit what we can still experience. Now, let's dive into some extra tips that can transform not only your sexual health, but your entire vital energy. The first tip is the simplest, but also the most powerful. Take care of your sleep. The quality of your sleep has a direct impact on the hormones that regulate desire, mood, and energy. Studies show that adults who sleep well have more balanced testosterone levels, both men and women, and are more willing to engage in intimate activities. And improving your sleep can be easier than it seems. A relaxing ritual before bed, reducing screen time at night, maintaining a dark and quiet environment. All of this creates fertile ground for more restorative nights. The second tip is to invest in unhurried touch. Instead of thinking of sexuality as a race to the finish, rediscover the art of slow connection. Gentle touches, massages without expectations, long hugs. All of this strengthens emotional bonds and ignites the flame of desire in a more natural and profound way. Many couples rediscover at this stage of life a new type of intimacy. More sensitive, more complicit, more genuine. Another powerful strategy is to make room for novelty. We often fall into automatic routines without realizing it. Small changes, such as trying out a new song during intimate moments, changing the environment, or even talking about fantasies and desires, can renew the energy of the relationship and bring back the excitement of discovery. And here comes something that few people talk about, but that makes all the difference. Sexual self-esteem. Feeling attractive is not about fitting into beauty standards. It's about taking care of yourself with affection. A new haircut, clothes that make you feel good, a perfume that you like. All of this sends messages to your brain that you deserve to be desired, deserve to feel alive, deserve to feel loved. Taking care of your diet is also a constant investment. In addition to fatty fish, including red fruits, such as strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries, which are rich in antioxidants, can protect your blood vessels and keep your circulation high. Vegetables such as spinach and arugula help increase the production of nitric oxide in the body, promoting the dilation of blood vessels and further improving blood flow. And let's not forget hydration. Water is essential for all of our body's functions, including sexual function. Staying hydrated contributes to the proper functioning of cells, hormone production, and general well-being. Now, if you feel that the difficulties in your intimate life are linked to deeper emotional issues, such as old traumas, grief, or blockages, know that seeking help is an act of strength, not weakness. Specialized psychologists, support groups, sexual therapy, all of these tools exist to support you in your process of rediscovery. At the end of the day, what matters most is the respect and affection you give yourself. Sexuality in old age is not a distant echo of what it was in the past. It is a new expression of your capacity to love, to feel pleasure, to live fully. And perhaps the greatest message of all is this: you are still worthy of experiencing great emotions. You can still smile at a touch. You can still be moved by a kiss. You can still fall in love, even with yourself. Every wrinkle tells a story. Every mark on the body speaks of victories, of overcoming, of paths traveled. And sexuality at this stage of life is a celebration of all of this, of what we were, of what we are, and of what we can still be. Therefore, by taking care of your diet, by exercising, by opening yourself up to new experiences, and by seeking help when necessary, you are not only taking care of your sexual health, you are taking care of your joy in life. Now that we have explored so many possible paths together, here is an invitation. Start today. A small change, a gesture of self-love, a smile in the mirror, because love, pleasure, and happiness have no age. And you deserve all of this, now and always. If this video touched your heart in any way, share it with someone you love. Maybe you'll help someone rediscover themselves too. Leave a comment telling us what inspired you the most today. And remember, taking care of yourself is the greatest act of love there is. Leave a comment below telling us which of the tips you're going to put into practice first. I'd love to hear about it. And if you haven't signed up yet, join us. This is your space too.